Warfare expert Peter W. Singer once said, "He who controls the heavens will control what happens in the battles of Earth." This statement is not exaggeration but sort of reality. In today's world, we are more dependent on the wandering satellites than we know about it. Satellites control almost all digital work, online communications in our life, and its activities are linked in an interconnected web. Directly or indirectly, we are dependent on satellites orbiting the Earth in different orbits. What will happen if these satellites in space cease to work all at once? Will it affect our daily life? What will be the global impact of this event? Before going for the consequences, let's understand a few basic things about satellites. My name is Siddharth and you are watching The World of Science. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists UCS database, there are currently 6,542 satellites in space orbiting the Earth. These satellites revolve around the Earth in different orbits according to the function which they perform. There are geostationary orbits (GEO) into which satellites orbit the Earth along the equator and travel at the same rate as that of Earth. Due to the same speed, there is locking between the planet and satellite, and the satellite always seems to be stationary at a certain fixed position. They are generally used for telecommunication and weather monitoring. Low Earth orbits (LEO) exist at about 1,000 kilometers above the surface of Earth and can be as close as around 200 kilometers. They follow different available routes and thus cover the whole of the Earth. The satellites present in this orbit are generally used for the imaging of the surface of the Earth due to their low altitude. Some satellites move in medium Earth orbits (MEO) and are used for navigation and tracking. So there are different satellites for different purposes, and they revolve in various orbits that extend from a mere 200 kilometers to 35,000 kilometers. With increase in the space race, more and more satellites will be there in outer space. Launching a satellite is a modern wonder and a massive achievement. So more and more countries are trying their hands to have their own communicational or navigational satellite in space. With increasing launches, there are some harmful consequences too. Most satellites are placed in low Earth orbit, thus traffic is increasing and there are serious concerns from scientists all over the globe. Also, during the launches, lots of junk and debris are left in space, and collisions with even the smallest of the junk will be very harmful to the workings of satellites and space stations. I hope you have watched the movie Gravity. According to a NASA and European Space Agency report, there are about 170 million space objects in low Earth orbit with their dimensions larger than 1 millimeter and about 30,000 pieces with size larger than 10 centimeter. These dimensions may seem small, but don't forget they are traveling at a very high speed, and their collision with any satellite will be very bad news. Apart from the fear of space junk, there is a constant fear of solar storms completely disrupting the satellite communication. One more thing that must have caught attention in recent years was the production of anti-satellite missiles. Satellites are a useful source for the military communication and navigation management. Thus, killing the satellite of the enemy side is a new warfare technique and can be very beneficial for the technically advanced party. Most of the satellite communications happen through radio waves and operations are controlled through computers. A high-level cyber attack can easily neutralize satellite communications. Thus, there are many ways in which the satellites can be overpowered and their functioning can be stopped. So what will happen when they stop? Generally, the first thing anyone would notice is the loss of TV signals. All of the television broadcasts are managed through telecommunication satellites. Second effect, a common person will notice the loss of voice communications, as a significant amount of voice communication is carried through satellites. GPS will stop working. Cab drivers might be first to notice them. But not working of GPS will also be felt in the defense sector and navigation. Armed personnel on the border and various terrains are dependent on the satellite phones, and they will be completely cut from the base unit. Thus, controlling enemy satellites will be beneficial to dismantle the moving battalions. There are about 1,100 active satellites that control military operations. Satellite combinations are responsible for maximum gathering and sharing of intelligence. Drones and missiles will lose control as they are managed remotely with the help of satellites. Military is very much dependent on space, and thus Peter Singer emphasized the role of space communication in warfare. silence of satellites will send a wave of terror throughout the world, mostly in the defense chambers of the superpowers. On a more mundane level, common man will notice that mobile phones are not working. In various places, even traffic lights are controlled by satellite, so a heavy traffic jam is inevitable in case satellites stop working. When SATCOM will stop, all the information exchange will travel through undersea cables, and thus a huge load will be there in optical fiber communication that will crash, ultimately leading to no communication between multinational companies. And if the situation goes on further, there will be communication silence throughout the world. If you're watching this video right now, thank a satellite. There will be no internet and no one will be able to find out what happened. Panic will spread in urban cities. Banking operations will be one of the most affected sectors due to this blackout. They need network connection to do transactions and keep record of everything in real time. But satellites are not working, so there will be a lack of synchronization. ATMs won't work. There will be no transaction in real time as GPS is used to synchronize the time between two countries. This will lead to huge financial hodgepodge all over the globe. GPS is also useful in charting the course and finding fuel-efficient routes for the ships and airplanes. They will be lost in the air and sea and will have to rely on conventional methods to find the directions. Although all these things would be happening here on Earth, up there the stopped satellite will be in its state of phase decay. Each satellite orbits in a predefined path, but constant pull of gravity causes the decay in the orbit of the satellite. Whenever this happens, they start the booster that pushes them again in their proper orbit. But with satellites being dead, they will not be able to reboot themselves and hence will fall towards the Earth. Most of them are small, so they will burn up in the atmosphere and will give some a spectacular sky show at night. But some of them are big enough to cause serious damages on Earth and can destroy the buildings and structures if they have not been burnt up completely. Thus, satellites may seem irrelevant as per common experience and everyday life, but indirectly we are connected with them. Their stoppage will affect our daily life and the entire functioning of the globalized world would come to a halt. So do you think you would be able to survive if all the satellites stopped working? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video interesting, please leave a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Check out our new Hindi channel from the description below. Do follow us on Instagram for daily quality content that'll make you fall in love with science. Comment down the topics that you want us to cover in our next videos. Make sure you subscribe to the World of Science. Until next time, stay scientific.